Okay, in today's quick tip, I'm going to show you how I use rope caulking and tin foil to mask off this varnished surface here in order to scrape and clean the edge of this plank. I'm getting ready to cut, fit, and install a plank on this boat. It's the bottom hull side plank. And before I do that, I have to clean all the old bedding compound, which is hardened now and kind of crusty and raised. I have to clean all that off in order to fit that new plank. So in the aft section here, where you can see the water line, what I did was I just took a piece of tin foil, because I'm using a heat gun and a sharp scraper to scrape that. I just took a piece of tin foil with some tape and I got real close to that, and I used a heat gun. I didn't try to heat it up too much, just soften that material and use a scraper like this and a heat gun. And I wasn't really that concerned back here because this is going to get sanded and painted again. So if the heat affected this edge a little bit, it's not the end of the world, although I didn't see anything bubbling up. But on the forward section up here, I really want to be careful because this is a varnished surface that I have to keep. So just putting a line of tape there and using a heat gun and a scraper, I didn't feel real comfortable doing that because I do not want this edge bubbling up. So I thought, well, how can I kind of insulate that area? And the first thing I did is I took this little piece of aluminum here and I folded it over, because you need to put an air gap in between that in order to keep this surface cool when you're hitting it with a heat gun. So I folded this over, put a piece of double-side tape on it, and I would have had to do a bunch of them, and I didn't really like that. So I remember I had some of this rope caulking. It's almost like plumber's putty. It's kind of cool stuff. I had it in this plastic bag. It's starting to dry out a little bit. It's probably 3 or 4 years old. But I'm using this and that tin foil, and it works great, and I'll just show you how I applied it. The cool thing about this is I can stick this right to the very edge, and that caulk is thick enough to where it's going to insulate that varnished surface. So it does two things. It insulates that very edge, and then when you put the tin foil over it, that's how you get your air gap, which there shouldn't be any or much heat transfer at all because there's that air gap behind there. And remember, I'm not hitting it real hard anyway with the heat gun, but just in case, I don't want any of this varnish bubbling up. And the cool thing with this is you try to get it right to the very edge of that, but if you hit this with your scraper, it's not the end of the world, because that caulk will just kind of scrape off. It's not like you're tearing tape or the tin foil or anything. So I put that on there, and then I put my piece of tin foil up here. And that sticks to it. So that was a good quick solution, because this old bedding and stuff, it's really hard, and to sand it and to scrape it without heat, it's just it'll take too long to do that. The heat really helps it. I know I have a gap there. I'll fix that. I just wanted to show you. Now I already scraped this here, so I'll go ahead and start the heat gun. And now that I know that edge is protected, I'll just kind of hit it. And I can get right to the very edge. Just make sure that that doesn't pop off. And also, this will protect any hot bedding compound coming off and hitting the boat. I don't think it would really do anything, but it's better to have something there. You see when that heat hits it. It does warm it up a little bit, but it's protecting that varnish underneath there. So there, I just did that section there. I'll come back and hit the batten. Well, I just want to start the camera and show you that. So that'll do it for the quick tip on using rope caulk and tin foil to mask delicate areas. Okay? Okay, I took the tin foil off and I'm gonna just show a short clip of taking this rope caulking off. There's a little residue on there, but it protected that varnish. So there it is, it worked. Okay.